Hi, welcome to Box on the Box Rock and Celluloid, Bop Brat for short. I'm Edward Box. So I've got another random review for you today, and it's Alice Cooper's 1987 album Raise Your Fist and Yell. So this album was the follow-up to Constrictor. Alice had had a pretty big gap of about 2-3 years between albums, which is a big gap then, where his sort of commercial appeal had dive-bombed a bit, certainly in the post-punk new wave era. And into the MTV era. So what they did was kind of embrace hair metal. He got Michael Wagner in as a producer. He got more sort of glammy metal type musicians in, Kip Winger, Ken Mary, and the excellent Rambo of guitar, Kane Roberts. The Constrictor album's pretty catchy, but it's quite thin. The production, it's quite kind of light. But it's interesting to hear Alice Cooper fit into the glam metal thing, because you can hear what an influence he is, his vocal style. Alice Cooper's more of a vocalist, not as much a singer, but his voice has a quality, and that would be of appeal to other bands and other people influenced by that style. But the Raise Fist and Yell album's a bit heavier. The production by Wagon is better. It's got more punch to it. It's a bit heavier. It's an album I used to enjoy at the time. I actually saw him live on this tour, and I feel pretty lucky to have seen him. But let's dive into it. So it's just under 37 minutes long. The first track is called Freedom, and it's a typical sort of rebellious glam metal, hair metal, if you want to call it that, anthem. Really nice guitar solo by Kane Roberts. It's got quite a funny voiceover bit. And the next track that has called Lock Me Up. Again, this is a typical Alice Against the World lyric, and it has an intro, Alice Cooper, you've been accused of this, and then he says guilty. It's pretty funny. Again, really cheesy chorus, you don't like it, you can lock me up, whoa. But it's catchy, and the same would be said for the Give the Radio Back. Again, a sort of teen rebellion anthem about censorship on radio and so on. As you will remember, in the early 70s, the Alice Cooper Band were pretty controversial, breaking out of the 60s and the hippie sort of dream to do something darker, particularly on albums like Killer and Love It to Death. And they were a big band, and the stage show was big, and then Alice Cooper took the name, became a solo act, Welcome to My Nightmare, and then he had that dip for a long time. So yeah, it's just really, he's in his wheelhouse, all this. Step on You, this is quite interesting. This uses a moving kind of fifth, the James Bond, bow, 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 kind of staccato riff. Pretty cool solo on this. Kane Roberts actually scratches the back of his whammy bar springs, I think, on his tremolo system, and it's quite noisy, the solo, but more about kind of aggressive sound effects and being melodic. Not That Kind of Love's next from his 15. This has got a really good backing vocals on it. I think you can kind of hear Kip Winger on backing vocals on this quite a bit. Kane Roberts as well is actually, if you check out his solo stuff, he's got a really good voice. So again, that's another catchy track. These tracks fit perfectly well in with your Rats, your Motley Crues, your modern Aerosmith, your Wasps and so on. It's not like Dokken or White Line or TNT, where it's kind of more melodic or guitar-based stuff. It's got the kind of a bit of the dirt under the fingernails, this. Side 2, Prince of Darkness opens it. This was the title song to the John Carpenter film Prince of Darkness that Alice had a cameo in as a homeless, dark, edgy homeless guy. So on the Constrictor album, that finished with The Man Behind the Mask, which was from Friday the 13th Part 5 or 6, I think. I quite like that track, a little more synthy. But yeah, Prince of Darkness is good. Again, it's that thing, horror movies and metal in the 80s. It was kind of a staple thing to have a metal track on a horror soundtrack. Obviously, you got these two Alice Cooper tracks mentioned. Remember Dream Warriors as well by Dokken. Prince of Darkness is kind of like that. It's got that kind of A minor type riff. You had the Trick or Treat film. It had Gene Simmons in an Aussie and was all metal soundtrack. The Wraith had a metal soundtrack. Dario Argento's Creepers Phenomena, as it's I think that was its Italian title. That had a metal soundtrack. You could pick other ones, even poppy rock like Secret of My Success, Night Ranger, and so forth. So metal and horror went hand in hand, Then you got Time to Kill, which is okay. Pretty catchy. And then Chop 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 has got a really funny intro. It goes, hello my pretty, my don't we look yuck. Pretty stupid track. Then there's Gale. This is an attempt at a sort of gothic ballad, almost gothic chords like Diary of a Madman or something. Kit Winger gets a credit on this. Not sure what I think of this, but it's quite interesting. And then the final track's Roses on White Lace is really heavy. This kid has got a kind of Ozzy Osbourne 16th note riff. Really dark. He was playing this live fairly recently, I think. So I think this is decent. I was quite surprised coming back to it. I went back to it a few years ago and I was like, oh yeah. But I kind of didn't really differentiate. When I listened to Constrictor, I was like, well, this is just coughing and spluttering up to 5, 6 out of 10. It's too light. But this is a decent hard rock album. I'd certainly give it 7 out of 10, maybe an 8. Obviously, long-time Alice Cooper fans will go towards Alice Cooper band stuff, which I'd recommend. I've only just checked out recently myself, but there's some really good solo stuff. The late sounds like From the Inside album's really interesting, really kind of overproduced, but in a good way. I need to go down the rabbit hole more, and I haven't checked out Alice's most recent stuff. But yeah, this is a decent attempt at fitting in with what's going on in music at the time. The album afterwards, Trash, he brought in Desmond Child, because this album did better for him, but it still wasn't a hit. Desmond Child co-wrote the stuff on Trash. That's got more commercial hooks on it, and it was a hit, and Poison's an excellent song. And in actual fact, the album afterwards, Hey Stupid, has got some really good musicians on, great production by Peter Collins. A kind of weird sort of purple patch, if you like, this Alice Cooper doing this kind of stuff. Okay, so thanks for checking out. Remember to share and subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Thank you.